The financial crisis in America may end badly. Today, I read an interesting article on foxbusiness.com written by Rachel Wolf titled, American Consumers See Tariff Surcharges on Their Receipts Amid Trade War. According to the author, Americans are noticing a new line on their shipping receipts called a tariff surcharge. Some companies are charging flat fees while others charge a percentage of the total cost of a given purchase. The author went on to reference the CEO of Amazon, who thinks manufacturers will start to pass that cost onto consumers rather than trying to absorb it. Here are my thoughts. My friends, I hate to hear about this. In the past few years, I have read several articles about Americans who have grown frustrated with tip lines on just about every point of service terminal or just about every receipt. Just today, I went to a Chinese restaurant to pick up my carryout food, and there was a tip line on the receipt. Why would I tip the person at the counter who just handed me a paper bag with my food? Well, surprise, now you may start seeing a tip line and a tariff surcharge on your receipt. It's getting to the point where things you have bought in the past no longer make sense financially. I believe this is all going to change consumer behavior. The big question is, how much will it change it, and which industries will be most impacted? There were a lot of comments beneath this article. I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, I bet some companies are currently ripping off customers because the effects of tariffs haven't hit future products yet, especially products that are already here in warehouses or on shelves. The next commenter said, I love how companies matter-of-factly say they're going to pass along costs to their customers like their customers will gladly pay it. Your customers may simply decide to put you out of business. Nothing personal. Another commenter said, the retailer is robbing you. There are no products currently on U.S. soil that have had tariffs paid on them. The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said, this is ridiculous. Anyone charging more for items that are already in stock should be prosecuted for price gouging. Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. Have you seen a tariff surcharge on a receipt? If you have, tell us about it in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on foxbusiness.com, written by Eric Revelle, titled, U.S. Corporate Bankruptcies Rise to the Highest Quarter-1 Level Since 2010. The author referenced data from S&P Global Market Intelligence, which revealed 188 bankruptcies were filed among large U.S. companies, which was an increase from 139 in the first quarter of 2024. The author referenced S&P Global as saying, companies, particularly those with weaker balance sheets, continue to face challenges as debt matures and needs to be refinanced at higher interest rates than at the time of issuance. Here are my thoughts. My friends, this is not good news. 2010 was a difficult year. The country was still recovering from the GFC at that point. I don't think it is a good sign that we are seeing an increase in bankruptcies. What's going on with these companies could impact household budgets as well. Many of these companies are unable to function in this higher interest rate environment. Note I said higher interest rate environment. I did not say high interest rate environment. Some households may encounter the same problem. Debt is becoming very difficult to deal with for some families. I had a conversation today with a friend of mine who previously worked for Chase Bank. He was telling me about what happened during the GFC. There were people who came into the branch crying because the minimum owed on their credit debt increased from 1% to 3% and they couldn't afford to make the payment. They came in asking for help, but there wasn't anything he could do for them. Some of the people said they were going to go talk to a bankruptcy attorney. During that era, he started working at a different bank, but dealing with upset customers didn't get any better. He also said home equity lines of credit were closed with no notice, and this really upset a lot of people. There are a lot of families that rely on cheap and easy credit. When that becomes more difficult to access, life gets real. I have to wonder if and when we will start hearing about all of this happening again. Do you know of any businesses that have recently filed for bankruptcy? If so, tell me about it in the comments section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on Yahoo Finance, put out by The Street and written by Todd Campbell, titled, "Billionaire Jeffrey Gundlach Sends Blunt Warning on Stocks and Bonds." For those of you who don't know who he is, well, he's the person often referred to as the Bond King. He has over $90 billion in assets under management. He said, "We don't know how the tariff experiment will pan out for a while. Building factories takes a long time, and it could be months before we know for certain how inflation will impact businesses and consumer spending trends. In short, there's tremendous uncertainty, and markets traditionally hate uncertainty." Here are my thoughts. I agree that markets don't like uncertainty. Professional traders probably love this volatility, though. They are making money on the way down and making money on the way up. When there are big swings in the market, that is when there is some huge money to be made. I really don't think we've seen the last of big red days in the market. There could be a lot of fallout from everything that is happening. I personally think it is far too soon to call a bottom. There is likely a lot more going on behind the scenes than we know. We were on the brink of a financial crisis before Donald Trump paused tariffs for 90 days. For all we know, we could be dealing with a financial crisis right now. The retaliation out of China may not be over. They could certainly dump their stockpile of U.S. treasuries. Imagine the fallout from that. I personally think this could all end badly. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on YouTube with a gong. There weren't a lot of comments beneath this article, but I'll share some of them with you. The first commenter said, "There is not a single positive outcome on the horizon. If inflation goes down at all, it will be because consumers stop spending. As a consumer-driven economy, this will result in companies not investing. Rather, they'll be looking at how they can reduce costs, which generally means cutting jobs. The bulk of any tax cuts will go to the very wealthy, which will not trickle down, no matter what the GOP says. And the national debt will grow faster than ever. Combine this with Trump's idiot trade war, the U.S. bond sell-off, and the distinct likelihood the dollar will be dropped as the reserve currency. I doubt someone could come up with a better plan to destroy America that didn't involve nuclear weapons." The next commenter said, "This is the end of the petrodollar. All faith and trust in the USA as a viable financial institution is gone." The last comment that I'll share with you came from someone who said Trump is in over his head on this one. He should have taken things slow by sending delegates to the important trading countries to work out a deal. That seems logical. This approach is downright asinine. Well, my friends, the commenters always have interesting things to say. Please keep in mind, these are the thoughts of the commenters and not me. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.